What's up, guys? Welcome back. So we are getting ready to head down to Overland Expo East in Arlington, Virginia next week. Come see us. We will be featured in the Extrusion Overland booth, obviously with the TRD Pro. Come say hello. I can't wait to meet some of you here from the channel. But we just got our KickAss tent, shower tent installed. This thing is awesome and it's very easy to put up on the truck. I'm gonna give you a look at it. Perfect timing. We got our shower set up because we're gonna be living out of this thing next week for probably a good 3 or 4 days. I'm super excited to take that trip down there and you know, hang out with all the guys from Extrusion Overland in that booth. But let me give you a look at this tent. You can get it from Extrusion Overland and use our discount code to save a few bucks. But yeah, let's take a look at how we get this thing mounted up. And I'm also going to show you how easy it is to unpack and pack back up. Very, very convenient tent to have on the side of your truck if you do any kind of camping or overlanding. Let's take a look. Here's what you get in the kit. You get your 2 mounting brackets, bag of hardware, this little carrying bag with your 4 stakes in it to basically secure it to the ground if you're in windy conditions or if you just want to secure it a little bit better. And then we get the tent itself, which we're obviously going to give you a better look at once we get it up on the truck. So, all right, let me show you how to get this thing installed. First thing we're going to do is we're going to flip the tent to the backside. And you can see that we have these 2 channels right here. That's where we're going to be putting the hardware. In order to get the hardware in those slots, all you have to do is take the Velcro off one end, take 4 of the supplied bolts that they give you, and we're just going to slide them in the track. 2 on the top row and 2 on the bottom. And we'll go ahead and secure our Velcro back up. Then we're going to take our L brackets and we're just going to secure. You want the shorter side up against the back of the tent, and you want to make sure the KickAss is obviously facing up. Basically, it's going to go on in this orientation. The smaller side is going to go like so, and you can see how the flatter, longer side is more towards the bottom of the tent versus the top. Can't really mess it up. Just make sure it's on there in the right orientation, so when you put it up on the roof rack, the label, the KickAss label, is facing in the correct orientation. Then we're going to take 4, 2 on each mounting bracket. These are nylon locking nuts, so you don't need any washers or anything. We're just going to go ahead and get them started. These are 10 millimeter, so we're just going to go ahead and snug them up just a little bit. Again, we do want to make sure we can still slide them back and forth. Now we want to come up to the roof rack and prep the roof rack for the install. So basically what I'm doing is, and this is completely customizable, just so you guys know, we have the Grizzly rack by Sherpa. The hardware that the KickAss company sends just happens to work out perfect with my rack and the extrusions. But again, this is completely customizable. If you need to use different size bolts or T-nuts or whatever, you can pretty much do whatever you need to do. With our rack, the hardware they send works out perfect. So what we've done is we've taken 2 of our crossbars. You can see one right here, and I just removed the hardware from this side, so that way it's loose and we can access it. I did the same thing for this bar up here. Hopefully you can see that one's loose as well. Those are the 2 crossbars we're going to attach our shower tent to. So we're going to take 2 of the supplied bolts that KickAss sends, and I'm going to try not to get my hands in the way here on you. But basically, pretty self-explanatory. All we're going to do is take the bolt with the head down and slide into the groove on our Grizzly roof rack. And that's what I mean by it just so happens that this hardware works perfect with the size of the extruded bars, or the extrusions on the bars of the Grizzly. Works out perfect. You can slide those bolts right in there. So we're going to take 2 of them, slide them in here, and then take the last 2 supplied bolts and do the same thing on this bar. Now we're going to take the hardware that we removed from the crossbars and just re-secure the crossbars to the rack. Both crossbars are re-secured to the rack, and you can see we have our 2 bolts on each crossbar sticking up. So now we can grab the tent, bring it up, place the brackets down and secure it with the nylon locking nuts. One other thing I'm going to point out before we place the tent down on the crossbars and on the bolts, you can see the brackets have 4 holes. That just gives you, again, you know, it's pretty much customizable to however you need it to fit your rack. So we're basically just going to kind of line it up. And again, this is why you want these feet loose, so you can slide it back and forth. So we're going to go, you do want it to be sticking out just a little bit. You just got to get the bolts lined up at the proper distance. All right, so we have that secured there. We get the front 2 lined up properly. Okay. So now we have all 4 bolts through the brackets. So now I'm going to grab the nylon locking nuts out of my pocket and just get them started to hold it in place up here. All right, so now what we can do before we tighten all of the hardware down is you can slide this in or out, you can slide it front to back. So that's what I'm basically going to do, and that obviously that's completely up to you, however you want it to sit on the truck. I'm just going to get down, step back, get it lined up how I want, make sure the distance is enough. You do want it to stick out from the truck just a little bit, because when we go to unfold it, as you'll see, you don't want it like rubbing up against the truck when we unfold the shower tent. So I'm going to get down, step back, get it all lined up, and we'll tighten down the hardware, and then we'll give you a look at how easily this thing opens up to use. All right, I think we have it right where we want it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten down the 4 screws, or the 4 bolts that have it secured to the rack first, and then I'll go back and tighten the 4 on the back side of the tent. All right, guys, there it is. That's where we decided to mount it. Again, I mentioned it, completely customizable, front to back, in or out, however you want to do it. Let's take a look at how easy this thing opens up. Now, just so you know, I have never done this before. I've never owned a kick-ass product like this before. But from what I've seen, it's super easy to utilize. So basically, all we got to do is undo the zippers. Then you're going to see 2 red straps in here, Velcro. Just undo the 2 red straps. And that's going to allow the tent to fall down. Now again, you can kind of see why you want to mount it just a little bit out from the truck, however far you want to do it. But once you have it unfolded, you want to make sure it's not rubbing up against the side of the truck for obvious reasons. Once it falls down, all we have to do is grab the bars, 1 on each side, pull those out. And then there's corner braces where you just want to push them in and lock them in place. And there you have it. It's that easy to open it up. The straps up here, you can raise or lower the canvas however you want to use it. If you're taller and you want it a little higher, vice versa, however you want to do it. It is adjustable as far as the height goes. You can see the 4 tent pegs that I mentioned that you get. There's a D-ring on each of the 4 corners that you can peg it down to the ground if you want. Those straps are also adjustable. Let me give you a quick look at the inside. Give you a couple, there's just a couple little features that I'll show you in there, and then I'll show you how easy it is to wrap it back up. All right, so first thing I'm noticing before we do take a look is I'm actually probably going to bring mine out a little bit further from the truck. You can see that it is still, even with the arms fully extended, it is still kind of rubbing up against the doors. And I just don't want to have to worry about that. So I actually am going to adjust my bolts up top, slide it out just a little bit more. That way, again, it doesn't rub. So, but basically to get in the tent, you can see this back corner, we have a zipper here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed while holding the camera. All right, so once you have that unzipped, come inside. And you can see there are 2, let's get in here. There are 2 mesh bags for whatever you want to use, your soap, your shampoo, whatever the case may be. There's 1 on each side. As I mentioned, these straps are totally adjustable if you want it higher or lower. And then the other feature that I really like on this tent is you can see here on the back side by the truck, they give you these like half zippers. You can see they only come down so far. So what you can do with that is, because of where we have it mounted, if I had my passenger side window down, I could easily put my clothes and stuff in there. When I'm done showering, I could just reach in the truck, grab what I need. You you know, that way you don't have to worry about keeping anything in here with you and getting it wet. That is a pretty cool feature. So, all right, that's pretty much all there is to it. The other thing I will say is they do recommend that once you use it, for obvious reasons, you want to let it dry before you pack it back up. If for some reason you can't do that when you get home from your trip or whatever the case may be, you know, just kind of let it air out, dry out on its own. You don't want any mold or mildew building up on it. So, but there it is. Nice and simple, plenty of room, I will say. I mean, I'm just about 6 foot, 220 pounds. And yeah, I feel pretty good in here. The other thing is, which I will show you, this strap up here, let me get you in frame there, right there. That is for your shower head. So I will grab my shower head and I'll show you, you can actually just Velcro your shower head up there. That way you don't have to worry about holding it. All right, there you can see what I mean with the shower head. So whatever kind of shower setup you have, you can use that Velcro strap to secure it up there. I mean, there's other ways you can do it as well, but that's included with the tent. So we have our hose connected to the back side of our 11-gallon shower tank, fed down through, hook the hose up right there, and that way you can shower hands-free. You don't have to worry about it. To repack it, we're literally just gonna reverse our steps. So we're gonna come in and we're gonna make sure those corner braces are loosened up and unlocked. That way we can fold the 2 arms in. Once you have the arms folded in, you're just gonna kind of straighten it out, pull it straight towards you, and we're just gonna kind of keep it slightly taut. Make sure you have all 4 sides. Keep it slightly taut and just start rolling it towards the top. I'm gonna fold these straps in so you don't have to worry about them hanging out as we're rolling. Once we get it up there, just make sure it's all kind of tucked in. Take your red straps, re-secure them. And then as we're zippering it back up, you just obviously want to make sure all the straps that are hanging down, just kind of tuck them in as you're going. And there you have it, you're packed up and ready to go for the next trip. There it is, guys. Check out this shower tent by KickAss. As I mentioned, you can get it at Extrusion Overland and use our discount code. Our code is basically good site-wide with Extrusion Overland. So check them out. This thing is going to be awesome. I can't wait to use this whole shower setup. I also got the 11-gallon shower tank from Extrusion Overland as well. Again, discount code works for that, so check them out. Make sure you come say hello if you're anywhere near Arlington, Virginia next weekend. I believe the dates are the 6th, 7th, and 8th of October 2023. We will be in the Extrusion Overland booth with the TRD Pro. I'm hoping to meet some of you guys from the channel. Make sure you come say hi, and I'm really looking forward to that. So any questions on anything you saw here, put them down below. We'll get them addressed. Thanks for watching as always, and we'll see you on the next one.